And welcome back to Open Sports Page. My next guest, I can't tell you how honored and thrilled I am to have this guy on the line. In my opinion, the best quarterback to ever play the game in the National Football League, former Denver Bronco great John Elway. John, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Well, I've told you that before. I mean, I know people talk about that age-old argument, Montana, Marino, on and on, but I never saw a guy that can kill you with arm strength and his legs like you can. You had the full package.
Well, God gave me a lot of ability, and thank God I had a lot of guys around me to help me do it. But, it was definitely fun while it lasted. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years this season since I've retired. So definitely miss parts of it, but you don't miss the part of getting hit. That's for darn sure.
I remember that press conference like it was yesterday. I've only cried during 2 retirement press conferences, John, and I'm a Giant fan. I'm not even a Bronco fan, but I cried during yours and Wayne Gretzky for some reason. It was just a very, very emotional day, and I'm also surprised it's already been 10 years.
Yeah, and definitely was an emotional day. I think that when you play something that long and you put your heart and soul into it, and then to have to walk away and say, it's time to move on and find something else to do. It's very tough, and I'm sure that Brett felt that this off season. Farr felt that this off season, and it felt that obviously the pull was to get him back, and you know what? He showed that he can still play.
Yeah, I think he felt that even 2 weeks ago, but after throwing 6 touchdowns last week, he's probably having some fun again. But you've been able to do lots of things since leaving the NFL, John. I know you've got a lot of businesses in the Colorado area, and now hopping aboard here at opensports.com, playing Tackle the Pros in Week 7, giving fans out there an opportunity to play fantasy football against you, writing blogs here. Seems like you're doing some cool stuff, life after football.
It's been fun. As I said, it's nice to kind of venture off into a new part of life and kind of find out what it's really like. Because when you're playing football, you're totally indulged in the game and concentrating on what you're doing. So therefore, for 6 months out of the year, you're kind of almost an MIA, except for interviews that people see on TV. But it's fun. I've been very fortunate in the fact that I got in the car business before I retired, and am back in the car business after I sold my 6 dealerships to AutoNation back in '98, and back in the car business. Got a couple of Toyota stores out in California, and then I actually kind of drifted into the restaurant business about 3 years ago here in Denver, and have 2 restaurants here, and was one of those businesses that I tried to stay away from, but have been very fortunate and have a good partners and I've been successful in the restaurant business. So as you said, it's life after football has been fun for me. My kids are growing up too fast though. I've got 3 in college now, and my little one, my daughter, is a senior in high school. So they're growing up way too fast, but having the time to be able to follow them and chase them around has been a lot of fun also.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, I'm married for 17 years, John, to my lovely wife, Danielle, and she's a diehard Yankee fan, and I'm a diehard Met fan, and people said, hey, how could you marry somebody like that? And, of course, she's so beautiful, it doesn't matter who she roots for. And now we come to find that the great Denver Bronco that was John Elway marrying a girl who worked for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, actually it was L.A. Raiders at the time.
Okay.
She was a cheerleader for the Raiders when they were down in L.A. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that gone to the dark side. But what we've agreed is that we met in the middle, which is good.
Where did you meet her?
Actually met her at Marcus Allen's golf tournament about almost 3 years ago, over 3 years ago, and actually met her there, and then really didn't I didn't see her for 6 or 7 months, and then actually saw her on an infomercial and knew that and knew that Marcus knew her, so got a hold of Marcus, got her number, and took her out, and here we are 2.5 years later, now engaged, which is really a lot of fun. She's a great gal, and they give this thing a second go after the first one, and I'm excited about it.
Well, congratulations, John. Now, let's talk about that Bronco franchise. I actually heard Mike Shanahan say a couple of weeks ago, I've got a quarterback here now that you're going to mention in the same sentence as a quarterback I had here before. Talking, of course, about you, who I said just moments ago is the best quarterback ever to play the game. To me, that is a pretty large, ringing endorsement for Jay Cutler.
Yeah, it really is. You know what? And he deserves it. He's having a great year this year, and a kid that really has a tremendous amount of talent and has really got some playing time over the last couple of years, and now is stepping in and really taking the reins of the Broncos, and really got some great talent around him. He's got some great wide receivers in Brandon Marshall and Royal, the guys that can really catch it and really run. So I mean, he's a guy that has, as I said, tremendous talent, and a guy that's just coming. He's in his 3rd year, and played, started last year as well as this year. And so a guy that I think that Mike, when Mike says that, it's true in the fact that he's going to be a guy that's going to be a great quarterback in this league for a long time.
A couple more minutes here with John Elway here at Open Sports page at opensports.com. John, is there a lot of pressure on Mike Shanahan? He had incredible success with you, obviously, since you're gone, been through lots of quarterbacks and lots of scenarios, but not lots of playoff wins. What is the Shanahan situation, do you think, in Denver?
Well, I think Mike's secure here. I think that Pat Bowlen believes in what Mike Shanahan can do, and even though he hasn't had a lot of playoff wins, they've had some some winning seasons, and I think that the one thing that was missing was a quarterback, and I think that Pat feels very confident, as well as Mike does, that they've kind of found their guy to build a team around, and I think that this is the thing that Pat looks for, and I think that he believes in Mike, and Mike is a very good head football coach. He's won a lot of football games, and so I think they got their rallying point now in Jay Cutler, and so I think that the expectations are now very high again, and the fact that they can go and compete for a Super Bowl.
John, what about the young quarterback play around the league? You came in, it was you, it was Dan Marino, Kelly, and all these great young quarterbacks, and we're talking here about Jay Cutler in Denver, and we did talk about a veteran, Brett Favre, but what about the young quarterback play in this league?
Well, I think it's at some point in time you look at Cutler, and you look at Vince Young, who had a decent year last year, obviously got hurt this year. Jay Leinart, who came in 3 years ago with Cutler, is backing up Warner, and obviously isn't ready yet. So I think that then you have Ryan down in Atlanta that stepped in his rookie year, first year, and is doing a good job down there, and they're helping him out a lot with a running game. And so I just think that it's something you go through phases with quarterbacks, and when they come and when they go. And I think that we're running a little light on quarterbacks right now. We've got some young ones that I think are up and coming, and if they can take the reins and continue to grow like they're growing, then you got a chance to have some. But I like you said, I think that there's some teams that are struggling with quarterbacks. Minnesota needs a quarterback, and different teams that are looking for that guy to build around, like the Broncos have here.
Yeah, they got lucky. And they got a couple other teams like that. Rivers in San Diego, Eli Manning with the football Giants. So you do have some guys in their third and fourth seasons now that have kind of taken over this league.
Yeah, you really do, and I think that, you got the old guard. Obviously, Brady's out for the season, but we'll be back next year, and Peyton, got off to a slow start just because he's had that knee surgery. So, I think you do have an older guard. Favre's still around, but you said those young guys are starting to step up, and I think as they gain experience, they're going to continue to grow and become good football players.
Now, a couple years ago, John, I had the opportunity to do the play-by-play for the New York Dragons, and I loved it. I thought it was great, and watching John Bon Jovi finally win a championship for Philadelphia this year, that was kind of cool. I love David Baker. I think he's a great guy. So I know your Colorado Crush football team has been pretty good too. How has the whole AFL experience been for you?
You know what? I've really enjoyed it. This is our our seventh season coming up, and it's been a great experience for me getting experience on the business side of sport as well as running the team. And so I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great experience, as I said, and I've learned a lot. And I think the league continues to grow. We continue to work and do different things to get that the exposure for the league out there. And obviously with a partner in like ESPN and getting the games on ESPN, I think people now know what the Arena Football League's about. And I think that as they continue to watch and learn the rules, because there are a lot of different rules than outdoor football, but it's really exciting to watch. Kids really enjoy it because there's a lot of scoring, and so it's been a great experience for me. And hopefully we can continue to grow the league to where people look at that and hopefully gravitate to the Arena Football League during the off season of the NFL.
So on the way out, John, Arena Football, doing this other stuff, will we see John Elway serving in some capacity again in the National Football League?
I don't know. I think that those are things that I would always look at, and but at this point in time, there's nothing on the table. But I think that I've never wanted to get too far away from football because that's what's in my blood. And my dad being a football coach, that's how I was raised, and so never see myself too far away from football. And if there was an opportunity that would arise in that capacity, there's no question I would look at it.
There it is here at Open Sports page at opensports.com. The greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League, and he's on our team now, the great John Elway. John, thanks so much, buddy. It's great to talk to you again.
My pleasure. I'm thrilled to be on the team at Open Sports myself.
All right, thank you very much, John Elway. And that's going to do it for us here on Open Sports Page. Make sure you tune in each and every day for the latest in sports news and our opinions. For Amber Wilson, I'm Sid Rosenberg. By the way, don't forget, check out the Sid Rosenberg radio show daily online, 6 to 10 a.m. at sidrosenberg.com and 790theticket.com. And, of course, keep it right here at opensports.com, where the future of sports on the web is open. We'll see you tomorrow.
For more great videos, check back every day on opensports.com.